Perhaps the most interesting of the new Last of Us weapons is the launcher, a simple potato launching device altered for the purpose of killing other human beings. Outside of craftable items and perhaps the flamethrower, the launcher is the only area of effect gun in the game, and it's also now the most expensive, costing 4 loadout points to equip and 450 parts on your initial purchase. Naughty Dog themselves have said it has the potential to be the most deadly weapon in the game if you use it properly, allowing you to kill enemies in large groups and around corners. While this is true, the launcher is also an incredibly inhibiting weapon that shouldn't be included in your class setup unless you're willing to dedicate yourself entirely to a style of play and class setup that caters solely to the launcher.
Careful now! He's down! They fucking got me! That one sure is dead!
Now, upon testing, the launcher appears to do only 2 types of damage. Either slightly less than 3 out of your 5 bars of health, which numerically would be somewhere between 55 and 58 out of 100 health, or alternatively, if your shots land a few feet further away from your enemy, it might do approximately 1.5 bars of health, which would be about 30 damage. We tested the range and the explosion radius of the weapon quite thoroughly as well. Here you can see an approximation of the explosion radius without Explosion Expert on, and here you can see an approximation of it with Explosion Expert 2 on. Now, as I said, the launcher is a very expensive weapon, so you should already be piecing together by now that good boosters to supplement the launcher with are Crafter 2 and 3 and First Aid Training 2 and 3. This isn't just because those perks will supply you with plenty of parts throughout your matches though, it's also because the launcher is best used as a way of supporting your team as opposed to an aggressive killing machine. The reload speed, the high cost, and the low supply of ammo mean that you have to make your shots count here. If you try using it aggressively, you'll be left vulnerable for numerous seconds at a time, and if your enemy decides to get in close, you're at risk of blowing yourself up. This makes the launcher a natural fit for classes that are inclined to place you in elevated spots of the map and behind your teammates. This is what makes it a good fit with not only Crafter and First Aid Training so you can be gifting and healing your teammates, but even with the hunting rifle. By pairing the launcher with a long-range weapon that encourages you to seek elevation, you're making it easier for yourself to spot enemies below you and then aim and fire your weapon because the launcher's shots arc downward, much like Molotovs or bomb tosses. And this further encourages you to shoot it from above, where you can accurately arc your shots behind cover or around corners that your enemies might be hiding behind. The next obvious fit in creating a class for the launcher is Explosion Expert 1 or 2. Now, the way I see it, you might as well go big or go home with this booster. Explosion Expert 2 gives a 40% radius increase to your launcher shots. In layman's terms, your area of effect is 1.4 times larger. Explosion Expert 1 only adds 20%, which in my eyes isn't going to make enough of a difference to make it worth equipping, though if you find yourself with 1 extra loadout point to spend, it's probably your best option. Another option in equipping the launcher, one that requires some adjustment and some dedication, is creating a class around explosives entirely. Not just the launcher, but your bombs and your Molotovs as well. This means that other good perks to go with it are Bomb Expert 1 and 2 to also strengthen your use of bombs and smoke bombs. And by mixing Crafter 1, Explosion Expert 2, and Bomb Expert 2, you can create a truly explosive class setup that will greatly strengthen your use of nail bombs, smoke bombs, and of course the grenade launcher. If you're not comfortable with using just a pistol and a grenade launcher, you can switch out Crafter for a semi-auto, a hunting rifle, or whatever slot 2 weapon you feel will balance you out. Maps that have drastic elevations are where you're going to find the launcher being most effective. Maps like Lakeside, Dam, High School, Downtown, Billstown, and Coal Mine are the maps most suited for the launcher, as they either have good sniping spots to perch yourself on, rooftops, numerous stairways that funnel and crowd enemies together, or even bridges that cut right through the middle of the map where you can get a line of sight on the enemy spawns and wait for an opportunity to strike. Ultimately, I like the launcher quite a bit. It's a pretty effective weapon from what I've seen. The only thing I would recommend, really, the only word of caution I have for you is not trying to force it into your class setup. Know how to use this weapon. Follow the tips I've given you. Use it defensively as opposed to aggressively. And it should be really supplemental to your playstyle. It should work hand in hand with crafter, first aid training, your sniping. Just follow the tips I gave you and it should work out pretty well. Thank you guys for watching. Up next, I will be reviewing the full auto rifle. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the comments.
I can't fucking see. Giant!